Guys, just for perspective, I just want to show you something here. See that fuel economy? 17.7. See this? 498 miles, 15.8 miles per gallon. So this is for my 2025 loaner while the RHO is in the shop. And I've been kind of driving how I would drive my RHO. This thing's rated at 21 miles per gallon in kind of mixed type of driving, which is what I'm doing, rural, a little bit of highway. And this thing's down 4 or 5 miles per gallon. Considering this has got the little Pinistar in it, I thought it'd be like 20. I guess getting 13 with the RHO is not so bad. All right, guys, got some good news for you today. In a real fast turnaround, we're able to get the 2025 Ram 1500 I hope back in action. I'm gonna walk you guys through talking to some of the different master technicians. I wanna give a big shout out right now to the Pinckney Ram Dealership in Pinckney, Michigan. Dude, all the techs, the service writers, everything, these guys stepped up and just really helped me out. I have such amount of respect for these guys. They know what they're doing. They're finding really tough wiring issues. They couldn't even find the wire break was until the installation was actually complete. And I want to kind of show you guys this. We got some towing review videos coming here soon. So that's why it's important to get this thing going. Let's do this. All right, guys, I got some really good news for you. These guys have went and bent over backwards to help me out in this whole thing. It's really cool to see a local dealership care so much to get this thing going, and these guys are engaged. What I like about working with these guys is they care, and they've truly stepped up and helped me, and they're helping us get this content because they believe they can help others with this too. So I'm going to show you guys what the issue is, and we're going to talk to one of the master technicians here who is involved with diagnosing and fixing this. Let's get into this. So this is the original harness, right? So would you call this like the body side harness?
It's the rear bumper harness.
Rear bumper harness, okay. And so guys, so this is what Mike found is the issue. And you found it was an open circuit, right?
Yep.
And he was just playing around. That was the issue. And it's all good. So everything, did you notice like the proximity or any of the issues like that? Did that go away?
Yeah, everything's working.
Everything's going away?
Yep.
Well, that's good. All right, guys, we got Eric here. Eric is gonna walk us through the repair. These guys figured out in less than 24 hours, they had this RHO fixed, got a wire harness, and us back up and running. So we're gonna look at this right now. All right, so we're up underneath this bad boy. So is this up in the corner here was where that harness connected, right?
Yep. So this harness goes from here. You got to remove this cover.
Okay.
Like the technician just told you in your last video.
Yep.
Move this harness. You can get to this number 8 park sensor.
Okay.
It goes, jumps over, and it connects into your rear bumper.
Okay.
So you got to remove the rear bumper to be able to work on these. Remove the rear bumper. It jumps over here. You can see here. This is a whole harness. Goes all the way over here. Jumps up by your tailpipe.
Yep.
This connector here is where your goes for your rear park sense. This
Okay.
jumps over, goes up above the frame, through here, jumps over the fuel tank, and then this is your also part of it.
All right,
over
see
here,
that?
and then this is where it connects into the goes into the body.
Okay.
This jumps over probably because you have so many lines,
Sure.
connectors, and everything in here. This jumps over. Now it goes into the body, jumps over, and it's roughly about here.
Right about up in there.
Yep.
Okay.
But it's going to be inside the vehicle, behind the carpet,
Okay.
and that's going to be in the passenger floorboard.
Okay.
And then, you know, the technician, we were looking around the TSBs and everything for this vehicle. You know, it says in the headliner,
Yep.
in the, you know, it's just all over the place. So you had to really go in and go into our flow chart, go back down to the, single wires, see which wire goes from where, which module goes from where. So
It's wild.
just-
I wasn't expecting we'd see that wire broken like that.
Right, and we had that tech-to-tech form that
Incredible.
showed it.
Yep.
It's just shows you a little electrical
Yep.
things like that. We couldn't see it until we actually pulled the harness off
Amazing.
and kind of pulled on each wire.
And was that issue was in that corner, not this connection point, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
So it was not in this one. It was in that back corner.
So I got some questions for you. So, have you spent much time under the TRX by any chance?
I have not personally.
Okay. But you spent a lot of time under standard Ram 15.
Yep.
Which, getting underneath this, besides some skid plates and unique exhaust and rear suspension, I would assume the wire harness and everything's ran the same way, right? It comes through the body and the
Nope.
It
So
is
this
different.
Yep, it is different.
Okay.
Between your, I haven't really looked at the 3.0s,
Okay.
regular 1500s.
Okay.
But your Hemis, it's totally different.
And that's because, is that part of the new architecture or whatever they call it, the new PCM?
Yep.
And so, because like I was wondering, on the prior to 25s, did they peek through the body in the same spot?
Yes.
Okay, so
except for it was this connector here.
Okay,
It's
that
mainly
connector.
this one. There was one, but since this doesn't, see now this one's moved back more.
Okay.
These have the coolers back here.
Yep.
This always ran up and above, and I have not seen this style yet.
Okay. So, I think some questions people would have, I just think of myself. What are your thoughts on the new 25 Rams with the first year of the Hurricane? I know from what you're telling me, you're kind of a fan of the Hemi, is that right?
Yep.
And what do you think of the Hurricane? Have you guys seen any issues? Like, are you seeing any problems with them?
So the main issue we were seeing is the cat efficiency code.
The cat efficiency.
We've had one in here with PCM code,
Okay.
but that also had the cat efficiency. The PCM, it was an update, ended up bricking it, and then we had Stellantis come out and they fixed that.
Okay.
So,
But from the actual, outside of the sensors and wiring and electrical, does the motor seem to be pretty solid?
it's I've seen it. It runs great, smooth. It's like a sewing machine.
Yeah.
If it's any relation to that 4.0 straight six,
Yeah.
it's going to be a strong motor.
That's awesome. That's what I think a lot of people want to see. That's what I'm hoping. You know, I heard this motor was super robust. Internals are built well. Everyone just, you know, everybody loves the sound of a V8, right?
Right.
But if you could maybe lose the sound of a V8, but maybe even potentially get a more reliable engine, better power, better fuel economy.
I see this thing as the unique design with the turbos. You know, the three cylinders run one, the other three run the other. That is a great design.
Yep.
You know, the other thing I like about it is it's smooth and quiet. It has great torque.
Yep.
Mid range is great. I honestly think this thing will keep up with the TRX.
That's kind of, I mean, I think it's fast and it drinks fuel like a TRX too.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's cool.
I think with the right tune, this thing will be beautiful.
Yeah, I think so too. You know what I'm just noticing sitting underneath here? Man, the size of those half shafts are freaking beefy. Anything else, like any other thoughts you think about like the 25 Rams, or just, you know, I'm hoping this video helps not only ease people's minds with RHOs, but other dealers out there and other people with Ram 1500s, that if they're getting an issue potentially tied to it, sounds like this impacts ADAS, right?
Yep.
And it could impact obviously your parking sensors.
Yep.
This could be a root cause, this harness potentially.
I believe so.
Yeah, any other thoughts or suggestions or tips or anything for future 25 Ram owners?
Buy them, drive them.
Yeah.
I want to see miles put on.
Yeah. So curious, you're a Hemi guy, obviously.
Yep.
What do you think of the exhaust sound of the Hurricane? And you could be fully honest with me.
All right, so it don't sound bad.
Yeah.
On the RHO, I like that it's got that unique sound.
Yep.
I wish I had valves like the Raptor.
Yep.
That's the only thing. I wish
too.
you could go from sport mode, really open that exhaust, or you can go quiet mode and just sneak in.
You know what's kind of funny? What I didn't know, I didn't realize this thing actually has a passive valve up in the exhaust.
That reminds me of GM's been doing that for years.
Yes, they have on the 6.2s.
Yep,
and
6.2s, 5.3s.
Yep.
And if anybody wants to do aftermarket, obviously, if you're going to do aftermarket, you would have to do it before that because you'll get a rattle. That's been a known thing on the Chevys too.
Did they have this also on the TRX?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Yeah.
Because they obviously don't have the big muffler. All they have is the two resonators.
Two resonators, yep. You know what's wild to me looking underneath this thing? Number one, I think they did a really great job with all the E-coding and stuff like that, because some brands are really struggling with this.
I've seen 2019 Rams where their axles already rust on them.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
But they still use that same Dana 60 rear axle, which is kind of cool to see.
I mean, Dana 60 is known for being pretty much bulletproof.
I have a question. I'm curious if you know the answer to this, because I've heard some things. I don't know if it's true. See these blue pieces?
Okay.
I don't know if this is true or not. Behind these, it looks like it's the trans mount.
Yep.
I was told these are there to protect the heat off the exhaust.
So I would assume that because it would reflect the heat off, so you're not cracking your bushings.
Yep.
The heat's not destroying the bushings.
Yep.
And it's just, I don't know. I want to know the design behind that because it's unique.
Yeah. How's it going, man?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
I seen your video last night.
Oh, did you?
Nice to meet you. I'm Ruben.
Yeah, nice to meet you too. Are you one of the technicians?
Yeah.
Awesome, man.
Yep, I watched the videos. So
that's cool, dude.
Check out a couple other videos.
That's
for you
awesome. I appreciate all what you guys are doing, man. Is like, top-notch dealership, dude. Like, it's just awesome. We're just talking about the RHO and just some of the different nuances on this versus the TRX or versus other vehicles. And you know, the other question people are asking, I have a buddy actually that's dealing with this right now, is how the heck does someone DIY an oil change on these things when you don't have a dipstick? I'm told there's a special process.
Okay, so
how you do this.
It's just like a regular oil change. You drain the oil, fill it up, and you go through the dash on the cluster.
Okay.
It has a level indicator.
Okay.
And that's how you tell your oil level.
So I have a buddy with the standard output Hurricane, just changed the oil the other day at an oil change place. He gets it done, and they claim it's at like 75%. It's not full. And I'm just curious, like, have you guys seen that? Do you go to full, or do you just put, if it calls for 7 quarts, do you just put 7 quarts in and not worry about it? Or do you look at the gauge?
So we always check the oil.
You just check the oil.
Just
okay.
to be sure. We let's say this one says it needs 7 quarts. We put 7 quarts in, and if that doesn't say, I would assume you would probably top it off a little bit. I wouldn't go a full quart, go half a quart, see where it's at.
And now,
at 75%, you gotta
add more.
Yeah, and I would assume you gotta add more.
And would you guys say, is there a certain process on how to check the oil? Does the engine need to be drained for half an hour or something?
So there is a service procedure on how it's done. I'm not too sure on the run time and everything else, but I know there is a sit time. And a
just to let it drain out.
Yep. Just like the Cummins. The Cummins you have to let, technically service library says 30 minutes of drain time.
Sure. Yeah, it's cool. I was looking, you know, while you were looking up underneath the oil filter, I was wondering if you could see the sensor up in there for where the oil change is at. Like if there's the sensor somewhere in the block here.
Probably somewhere inside the oil pan.
Yeah, where in the oil pan is right there.
I wonder if it does something like a fuel tank float would, where it floats up so high.
I'm not too sure on that. I know Alfa Romeo has been doing this for quite a while too.
Yeah.
Sure.
BMW, I think a couple of them have it.
I know traditional truck owners, including myself, people are like a little bit like maybe not uneasy about not having a dipstick.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't think it's a big deal. You just look at the dash.
Yeah.
And as long as it's easy to do an oil change, it's like, okay, you might have to worry about a sensor failing, but at the same time, I've had multiple dipstick tubes break off an engine block before. So it's like
our 4.0 is common for that.
4.0. I had an inline 6-cylinder Ford back in the day. I broke one off on an AMC 304. So it's like, okay, so they're not perfect either. So
right. Everything wears out eventually.
Yeah. Another thing I was thinking about, battery issues. I've heard guys having a lot of battery issues on 25 Rams.
Yes, we've had a lot of battery issues here. They come with state of charge at about, and it wants it 80% and up.
Okay.
You bring it in, test drive it, it's at 76%. You got to charge it. We've had a lot of battery issues. I mean, we've put probably thousands of dollars in batteries in these vehicles.
Is there anything people can do to prevent this, or is it just something to do?
So I want to see what Stellantis and Star and everything have to say about it, because nowadays your batteries last 3 years, they say. We don't even see them make it a couple weeks.
Wow. But then after you replace that, it's good though, right?
It should be, yeah.
Yeah.
I know these vehicles wake up about every 7 minutes. If you have your phone charger plugged in to your USB port, it'll wake it up about every 7 minutes.
Wow.
And we've seen a draw with that.
Thing that honestly keep it, alive, keep the battery charged up, just drive it. A couple of days,
Yeah. I really appreciate all you guys have done. The turnaround here is just incredible, and you guys allow me to take video and help. I think it's helpful for the community.
I'm excited to see this against the TRX. I want to see more videos.
Dude, me too.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's coming, man. I'm already working on putting that together.
I've drove the regular that 3.0. I've drove the high output. The high output is no joke.
Dude,
in a regular 1500, it is no joke.
Yeah.
Even the Grand Wagoneers will put you in your seat.
Yeah.
It's amazing. What's wild to me is if you watch my channel, you guys know I've had a lot of eco boosts and whatnot. That's a great motor. With that being said, what I've noticed is the EcoBoost has a little more lag off the bottom.
Yes,
this thing has got no lag. It's like, it feels like a natural aspirated V8. Yeah. Cool. Well, thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate it, man. Nice meeting you. Thanks for all your help, dude.
Yeah.
As I mentioned earlier, I really want to thank Pinckney Ram Dealer for taking care of me and the service. Everybody in there, before they even knew I had a YouTube channel, they just wanted to help. It had nothing to do with the channel. They just really are that top-notch of a dealer, and I want to thank them for getting this done so quickly. All right, guys, here's a moment of truth. Let's see if everything's all good. So this was the problem before. This wouldn't work. We could turn it on, We can turn it off. So right now it's off. Let's just see. We go into the gauges. I'll turn it on, off, off. It's working. Let's see. Let's back up and see if the sensors work. Yep, they're working. That's good. And you can see where it goes right in there too. If you notice, it doesn't say service anywhere now. It's just off and nothing. All right, so you got an RHO and you see this button right here above your different, these are your different arrows for your drive modes. What does that button do? You hit that button and it pulls up your drive modes and it kind of just shows you all the different settings you can customize. This is really cool. I like that you can kind of customize. You can change, go into this button, and you can change your trans settings, paddle shifter, stability, suspension, steering. Super cool. All right, guys, so to cap this up, if you're having any sort of electrical gremlin issues tied to parking sensors, maybe backup proximity sensors, if you're noticing your odometer flashing, if you're having ADAS issues, there's a possibility you could have a fault with this wiring harness. This dealership is a smaller dealership with highly qualified technicians, and they've already seen 2 issues like this show up on the 25 model year. Good news is it's not that hard of a fix once you find the issue, and dealers like this, they're ready and already competent in this area. I'm hopeful this is the fix. I didn't think it would be that big of a deal. In fact, I really thought it was going to be a programming situation. I didn't think it was actually going to be a wire that was loose in the harness, but regardless, they fixed it fast, up and running. We're now going to get ready and do some towing videos for you guys. I hope you enjoy all this. Thanks for watching.